Hey, it's Camo with the Nashville Access Facebook show. This is cool because we're not in our studio, we're in another studio which has a different backdrop thing. And we just walked into the studio and look who's here, Brinley Addington.
Hey guys, how are y'all doing?
They answered.
Oh yeah, they all sound like they're doing
they're
great.
Fine. Yeah. So you just hang around in studios waiting for an interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool.
Just in case anybody wants to talk, you know.
Now you're kind of local. You're a Tennessee boy.
Mm-hmm. I'm originally from Kingsport, Tennessee,
Yeah.
but I've been here in Nashville almost 11 years.
Where exactly is Kingsport?
Kingsport is part of what's known as the Tri-Cities, which is Bristol, Kingsport, and Johnson City. It's an hour and a half northeast of Knoxville. My hometown's about 20 minutes from Virginia and about 30 from North Carolina. So we're right up in the corner of the state.
Is it one of those hometowns that they used to salute on Hee Haw? You know?
I don't know if we ever made it to Hee Haw, but we watched a lot of it as a kid. I remember that when we were tuned into TNN and everything from Nashville, and we came down a lot. My dad came down a lot for business, and my grandparents like to come down on little weekend trips. So that's actually how I ended up here. We came down on a little weekend trip to see the Opry one time, and I guess I got hooked pretty early as a 3-year-old. And
I can do that.
Here I'm now. Yeah, it's like one day, just watching those folks, and I still kind of remember it, which is weird, but all these years later. But yeah, Kingsport is a great place to grow up. Kind of a small town, and it's not that small of a town, but it feels that way.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of like Nashville used to feel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's like and especially in the music community, it's kind of a small town within itself, and you see people everywhere you go. So I felt like I grew up in a small town.
It's a good thing you got hooked on being a singer and songwriter at the Opry and not a clogger.
Yeah, that was my backup plan. Then I realized I can't dance.
Plan B,
real bad.
a clogger. Excellent. You've kind of got some attention these days because you just had a hit cover, or you had a song that was recorded by, and now his name's gone. Welcome to Middle Age.
Tyler Farr.
Tyler Farr, yes. That's a big deal.
Yeah, it was. It was really cool, and we actually got to see Tyler play it on the Opry for the first time, which was a cool moment for me. And he took all three of us riders. It was me, Sarah, Allison Turner, and Hardy, and all great artists in their own right. And we all three got to go. It was all three of our first cut, all three of our first single, which is amazing. And I got to go see it played at the Opry, and I mean, we were all just wide-eyed and just taking it all in. So it was pretty wonderful.
Is it? Are you trying not to be emotional when that happens?
No, I just let that stuff rip. That's just who I am. And it was emotional, but not like fall down and boo.
Yeah.
It was, but it did kind of make me feel kind of in a slightly full circle moment.
Yeah.
So
Your family proud?
Oh, they were. They were listening on the radio and tuning in online when that was going on. So it's kind of cool.
So that'll get like 3 million spins, and you'll make about $3.
Yeah, that's what they say.
Yeah.
So buy a pack of gum.
Nailbox money.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Exactly.
When does my $3 check come? You've got a new single out, too.
Absolutely.
And that's really starting to make some waves.
Yeah, it feels great, and everybody's been really positive about it, and it's a lot different than the record we put out last year. It's kind of more of a sensitive thing and a personal thing, and I wrote it by myself too. So if it sucks, so that there's no one else to blame it on. It was the other writer. It was just something I wrote, was really passionate about, and I really was kind of trying to figure out what to do next, professionally, and release, what to release, and I kind of had no idea, and I just kept coming back to this song, and I figured, let's just put it out and see what happens, and we're having fun with it so far.
Nice. Is it hard as a writer to be so honest about something close to you, and then it's out there and everybody knows?
Yeah.
Is that a tough thing?
It was until this. I feel like this was kind of a turning point because I started playing it in riders rounds around town here, or just in shows where I was playing by myself, and people come up like, what's the story with that? And as I got to start telling people where it came from and where it began, and got more confident with saying, well, who'd you write it with? And I'm like, well, it was just me. And
which is different than most of what happens in Nashville. It's all about the co-write.
Yeah, absolutely, and I prefer to co-write. But believe me, I enjoy the kind of the team sport aspect of it. And but this just kind of hit me one night in my kitchen. I was just kind of sitting there messing around with the guitar, and it's like, and you know, was born from a real place. But yeah, it's been a different experience for sure. I've put songs that I've written by myself out on full records before, but never out by themselves and really soloed them out like that before. So it's a new experience, but it's been really positive, and you know, makes me think, well, I wonder if anything else I wrote by myself would be worth putting out. But I might do some more of that.
What is your process as a songwriter? A lot of people kind of do things differently, but how do you kind of work your songs, work your magic?
Well, shoot, I don't know. I can't tell all of it just in case there's any other writers listening, but I'll tell you what I can. You know, I've got to keep a little bit to myself. No,
we could tell you,
right?
But then we'd have to kill you.
Absolutely, man. For me, it's a feel thing. It's like, man, does this feel right, or does it feel like we're connecting? Does this feel honest? And it's always been a feel thing and a heart thing. I mean, that's what led me here. So the way country music made me feel was like, I want to make other people feel what I'm feeling, and like the love that I feel for these songs, or the heartbreak, or the, you know, the fun, or the, you know, the party, the Friday night thing, or the Sunday morning thing, whatever it ends up being. Is just, I want to connect, and I want people to feel stuff with my songs. So I start by trying to feel something myself that, if we're on the right track, I'm like, man, that reminds me of, you know, fill in the blank time that I got my heart broken, or whatever it is. You know, then I know we're probably on the right track, and I that's a big thing for me.
Yeah, because chances are, if you've experienced it, people have experienced it. You know, if I was experienced the first date, drive-in, well, it's not drive-in movies so much anymore. But
I know, I wish that was still more of a thing.
Because there's nothing like cramming 20 people into the trunk of a
yeah,
car.
it's great. And it's the same thing with Come Back. You know, like, this was a real experience for me, and I was really close to it. And then getting to share that, I had a couple of people reach out and say, oh my gosh, you know, when I was in college, you know, this was my same experience. And then I had a guy reach out, saying, my girlfriend's in the Navy, and she's about to deploy, and this is going to be my song for her while she's gone, which that about got me, talk about getting emotional. But that about got me. And so it's like, people are, you know, there's been a few other people like, man, I feel like I went through that with my ex-girlfriend or my ex-boyfriend. And, you know, when you have to let somebody go, and, you know, but you wish them well, and you got to, you know, just let them know you'll be there when they get back. And it's, you know, funny how I went through it, and I kind of felt alone when I was going through it. And I thought, I know I can't be the only one. And it's kind of cool for me, even for my situation, to hear, you know, what people are going through, and, you know, for me to let them know that they're not by themselves has been kind of a rewarding thing.
Do some of the stories really hit you, like you said about the military?
Oh yeah. Especially because my little brother had just gotten back from being deployed, and like, it just, I don't know, that was like all going on in the same week. And it's funny, he got back 2 days before the song came out, and like, right as that song came out, I was like, woof, I know what you're talking about, man. Like, you know, somebody you love is, you know, far away. It's a, you know, it's a hard thing for sure, especially, you know, when they're gone for a long period of time. And so I kind of felt that a lot, but I didn't expect that either. So you never know when somebody's going to say something nice to you or hurtful to you, and it's going to surprise you. But this time, that really made me feel like, cool, we did the right thing putting this song out.
What if a big artist came along and said, man, I want that song on
there? They could have it.
Yeah.
It would be hard with this one. This one's a little personal.
When they're so close to you, sometimes it's like...
It depends on who the artist was, I think, in this situation. I think it would have to be somebody, you know, that would treat it right. This one would be one I'd be picky. I've got other songs that are about fun and drinking beer that like, you want to go ahead, buddy. But you know, this one being a little close to home would be a little more difficult. But if the right situation came on, I think
we're gonna cut it. But we're gonna put some drum loops behind it and some finger snaps.
As long as they didn't lose the lyric too much, I still wouldn't hate that. I love all kinds of music. I tend to lean more towards the traditional, but I've heard some stuff with some snaps and drum loops recently. I'm like, damn, that's good.
Yeah, you got the Don Williams hat going.
Oh yeah, too. That's why I bought it. I was like, man, that looks just like Don Williams. I'm gonna have to take that home with me.
You need some good sweat stains in it.
I know, we're getting there. It's summertime. We should be able to take care of that.
You want to do the song?
Yeah, sure.
And then we'll talk some more?
Yeah, I think I know the word.
All right.
Girl, I know you gotta go. You got boxes in the car. I don't want to hold you up. I don't want to make it hard. No, there ain't nothing wrong. You just got somewhere to be. I knew when I signed on, you had to leave. Go ahead, girl, spread your wings. Do what you gotta do, wherever that might lead. I'll be right here waiting on you. I ain't trying to change your mind. Ain't gonna stop you in your tracks. Ain't trying to make you stay. I just want you to come back. Find the end of every road, make a wish on every star. Wherever your heart goes, just know mine ain't too far. And I'll leave the porch light on, in case there's something that you missed and you wanna come back home. But until then, go ahead, girl, spread your wings. Do what you gotta do, wherever that might lead. I'll be right here waiting on you. I ain't trying to change your mind. Ain't gonna stop you in your tracks. Ain't trying to make you stay. Just want you to come back. Wanna see you touch the sky, grab hold of all your dreams. When it comes to you and I, where you are, don't change a thing. So go ahead, girl, spread your wings. Do what you gotta do, wherever that might lead. I'll be right here waiting on you. No, I ain't trying to change your mind. Ain't gonna stop you in your track. Ain't trying to make you stay. No, I ain't trying to make you stay. I just want you to come back. Come on back, yeah.
Wow, great song.
Thank you.
You're watching the Nashville Access Facebook show with Camo and my guest, Brinley Addington. That song is in my music library. It's such a cool song.
Thank you.
And it's funny when you, after you'd mentioned about the military aspect of it, and you listen to the lyrics, it just puts a whole another spin on.
And I never thought of that while I was writing it. I didn't know yet. You know, my brother was deploying. I didn't know that. You know, I didn't know this guy was going to hit me up out of the blue. That his, girlfriend was going to step off, and I just never thought of it that way. I was just thinking about me being in a long distance relationship was all I was thinking about, and that was going on. But it's been really interesting. There's been some people like, yeah, it didn't end good. It's been out there on the other side of the situation where it wasn't as positive. But that's kind of a unexpected turn. But I'm proud of that.
Video comes, like, I can just see the video for that, with that angle.
We're thinking about that.
Yeah, that's cool. You obviously are flying the flag for the traditional aspect. You've got country and western.
Both kinds of music.
Yeah, both kinds of music, country and western. And where do you think country music as a whole is going? Because you hear so many people saying, that ain't country, that ain't country. And I once heard Kenny Rogers say, country is what country people will buy.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well,
I think he's right. I think that's absolutely right. And I think it's changed so much, in the last, 10, 15 years especially. Really, I think when iTunes started putting, your favorite country record right next to the brand new country record next to the rap records and, hip hop and rock and, all kinds of different, other popular music, when it really started changing. It was like, well, I actually like this too. Oh, and I like this too. And it all starts to, meld together, and that's been, I think, really cool. I still love the traditional. I really do. That's, what makes me the happiest. But like I said, I've heard some stuff with, snaps and whistles and, tracks behind it that I think are really, really great songs. And I even enjoy writing them too. So it's just kind of I'm not necessarily the guy that should be singing them as we're pitching them to someone else, but I think right now it's in a really good spot because I think there for a while we went so far that way that there wasn't really the more traditional stuff wasn't being getting alive as much. And now I think that, with, like John Party in Midland and people like Carlton Anderson and, these country artists, like there's a little room for everybody now. Like, and I think we do really well when there's a little something for everybody.
It's country seems to follow what every other format does, because what's happening with country now is almost like grunge did with hair metal.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's getting back to the basics, not a lot of frills. It's, if people want to use the word real country, it's getting more back to that.
Right.
Kind of like hair metal got so far away from metal.
That, well, then it comes to a certain point, it's like, I picture it like, those scales, it's like the scale gets too heavy on one side. You got to balance it back out. And
stock market corrections.
Absolutely. I don't know nothing about that.
Neither do I, but I know the terms.
But yeah, like the simplistic, story-driven songs and, the simple production and stuff. I think we can thank Chris Stapleton a lot for that. And, those artists I mentioned earlier, I think everybody misses that stuff. And I think even the people that are doing, I know a few of the younger artists that, they listen to the same stuff I did growing up. Yeah. They kind of bonded more with, like I said, when you start seeing your favorite records next to other genres, I think it ends up, changing your, influences. And I had, a lot of influences. My parents, my dad listened to bluegrass and singer-songwriter stuff, and which, that can be country.
Yeah.
And my mom listened to pop and bluegrass as well, and loves country as well. But, like, it was all over the board, growing up. And I just happened to love country music starting in the 90s, and I started working my way backwards. And, but I think, like Kenny said, I think it is what the fans buy, and, what really, I don't know, what's fun. I just think it's fun that, a couple of years ago, being the kind of writer that I am, when I was just thinking about writing, you could write these country songs, and then there was nowhere to send them because nobody was cutting them. And it was hard to get an Alan Jackson or George Strait cut, it still is. And still want one though. Yeah. And now I'm thinking, okay, there's a place to send these things. There's more these young guys and girls that are coming out that are like, okay, there's home for country, real country, air quotes, music now, and that makes me happy. I think we're in a good spot as a genre.
I think Garth Brooks was the first one that I can ever remember, because I grew up listening to the stuff from the late '60s, '70s. So the whole cast, George Jones, Don Williams, all that stuff. But Garth was the first one that came out and said, yeah, I listened to Kiss in Boston. And I think that broke it open for other artists to say, well, yeah, I do too.
You're right.
I'll go to a Kiss concert and scream with everybody else, and then I'll sit down and listen to a George Jones record.
Right. Absolutely. And I think, you should like what you like. If you like it across the board, if you like death metal and you like Don Williams, whatever, I think, I think that could end up being, I don't know if that would work musically, but, it's just
look
such
at when
broad
Metallica
brush.
can come to town and cover a Dolly Parton song.
Yeah.
And everybody in the audience digs it.
That's
because
awesome.
It's Metallica doing it.
Yeah, it's cool. And they, it's cool if they have enough respect for her that, they're showcasing that they have the respect for her. I don't know anybody who doesn't think Dolly's awesome. And if you do, we have nothing to talk about.
Well, her husband doesn't even listen to her music, doesn't like her stuff at all. Yeah.
Well, that's fine.
Yeah.
They've been together a long time. That may be a key to something.
Yeah, no kidding.
But no, it's I think the format's in a really great place with the variety and everybody being accepting of other people's sonic choices and lyric choices and stuff. And I think the songs are getting better as a product of the traditional country sound coming back. Is just they're being a little bit more meat on the bones here lately, and that, as a songwriter and as a song fan, this makes me really excited.
Yeah, that track is just such a killer song.
Oh.
I hope that does really well for
Thank you. I appreciate it. I kind of said when I put it out, if it does, great, and if it doesn't, great, because it was just so important to me to just get it out there. And so I'm been really excited about how positive people have been taking it. So I appreciate you saying that.
You want to do another one?
Sure. We put an EP out last year on a little different feel. It's called Songs from a Bar. That was based on years of research I've been doing. And this is our single from that. It's called No Thanks. No neon no smoke, no cold beer, no dirty jokes, no country cuties, no cheap drinks, no good to know yous, no thanks. I wanna go where the night's gonna go, jukebox or a band playing solid country gold, yeah. Feeling big city gone, getting nitty gritty on with the pretty cherry bomb on the dance floor. I wanna feel the way it makes me feel when the good times roll and reinvent the wheel. No, gotta say that's my kind of place. So if it is, I'm all in. If it ain't, no thanks. Bottle service, VIP, it's overrated if you ask me. DJ spinning, fill in the blanks. Well, thank you kindly, but no thanks. I wanna go where the night's gonna go, jukebox or a band playing solid country gold, yeah. Feeling big city gone, getting nitty gritty on with the pretty cherry bomb on the dance floor. I wanna feel the way it makes me feel, good times rolling, reinvent the wheel. Now, gotta say that's my kind of place. So if it is, I'm all in. If it ain't, no thanks. Wanna have to go too far, 'cause I've been working too damn hard. Just wanna throw this truck in park where a bar is a bar is a bar. And I wanna go where the night's gonna go, jukebox or band playing solid country gold, yeah. Feeling big city gone, get your Travis Trivial on with the pretty cherry bomb on the dance floor. I wanna feel the way it makes me feel when the good times roll and reinvent the wheel. Now, gotta say that's my kind of place. So if it is, I'm all in. If it ain't, no thing.
Cool song. I
Thank
can just see that being huge in a bar.
Those are pretty good.
Yeah, and all the bridal parties doing their maiden call.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, they're all over. I was driving down here today, and I just saw that they were already getting started on a Tuesday, getting started early down here on Broadway. So
Yeah,
it was Nashville, man.
yeah. I know. Man. So what have you got planned for the upcoming future?
Well, I honestly hadn't thought past dinner tonight, but the but yeah, I don't know. This song was such an organic thing. It's kind of put me back where I was when I was thinking about what's next. But I kind of, I always love making albums. I love putting together full length albums and EPs, even just finding things like we did last time, which we didn't intend for it to be all bar songs, but it just ended up those were our 5 favorites, and that's what we put out. But I kind of love the idea of going kind of towards a singles thing for a while, and when I write something else that really means something special to me, to put that out and kind of let that dictate what we do and let it be more of an organic thing. Sorry, tripping over my tongue, but be more of an organic thing for a while. I don't know. I think I have a tendency to overthink things, so this was kind of a nice exercise, and I felt like this time I got to put it out and I had more fun with it. So. I don't know. I don't really know the answer. I feel like I should know the answer to that since you're asking, but
I don't ever know answers.
Yeah,
to
oh.
anything I ask.
well, that's good. I hadn't thought past dinner tonight, but I think the next time we have a song that feels right, I think we're gonna go in the studio, record it, and put it out when it's right. And
But so many rising artists are, and even older established artists that aren't getting the mainstream radio airplay. That's where they've gone is singles, because albums are, for the most part, have been reduced to merch. It's something you get at the merch table to take home. It's not the focal point of the career like it used to be.
sure. And I feel like all of our attention spans have gotten shorter. In addition to nowadays, there's so much music coming out every day, and I forgot.
Is that harder for you, do you think, to make your mark because there's so much out there?
Oh yeah,
Or
I
do
think
you
it is.
find it easier to find your own lane and get attention your own way?
I think I know my lane. I think it is just overall harder for everyone because there is so much volume coming out all the time, and that, you know, not necessarily that we're competing, but I mean, we kind of are. And it's just, you know, you have to make sure that you make a big enough splash, or, you know, whatever your next project or project move is, you know, that you're competing with the rest of, and I'm not saying that it's noise for the sake of it's, you know, nails on a chalkboard, but there's just music being thrown at you all the time. And even talking about albums, I love albums. I miss the days of going to Walmart and buying a CD, but
We used
I'm
to
old.
camp out
Yeah.
to get an album. you
Yeah,
know.
that's an experience.
Yeah.
I remember back when records came out on Tuesday, I getting out of school on a Tuesday, driving immediately to Walmart and picking it up and riding around until I listened to the whole thing. But who does that anymore?
Yeah.
You know, who listens to a whole record at a time unless you're a super fan of somebody? And I think the artist,
Garth is the only one that does it. You
yeah,
can't buy a Garth single. You got to
yeah,
buy the album.
buy the album, and I kind of respect him for holding to his guns on that. But you know, these bigger stars, like, yes, people want to eat up that album, but when you're a new artist, I think people have a short attention span because there's so many new acts going, hey, check this out, check this out, check this out. They don't have time for more than a single at a time. So that's part of my thinking, and again, just thinking more on the organic side of just like, man, this feels right now.
Yeah.
Let's do this, as opposed to saying, well, this will work out because it's this time of year and you know, summer's coming, we need a beer drinking song and blah 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 blah. It's like, actually,
Let the labels do that.
yeah, let those people do that. Let people who, you know, have more going on, and you know, I'm enjoying being an independent artist, and you know, I think, you know, there's a lot of people, you know, and even me at one point was like, I gotta get a record deal. I'm like, man, I kind of like just doing what I like to do. And
That's a brutal thing to chase.
it really is.
because-
It'll take it out of you.
Yeah, because, you know, you're trying to do the stuff that's on radio now, but if you're doing that, then you're already behind.
You're already
the eight ball.
behind, man. Yeah.
You gotta be doing stuff that's 6 months,
Yeah.
a year down the road that nobody's heard yet.
Or they're just doing stuff that makes you happy, that makes you feel like, man, this is me. And so for me, that's kind of where I'm at. And then the part of it that I'm enjoying is just like, man, I don't know who's gonna like this, but I'm gonna put it out there, and I hope they find it. So,
Cool.
you know,
Nice. People can get hold of you where?
we're all over the place. BrinleyAddington.com, Facebook.com. I almost said MySpace. Wow. Facebook.com. So we don't have a MySpace anymore, folks. I'm so sorry. That was so many years ago. Good night.
It died. Like
Yeah,
that.
I know. I did. I just went back to reverted to an old, you
Yeah.
know, stock line where I shout out my socials. Facebook.com/Brinley Addington, at Brinley Addington on Instagram, at Brinley_ on Twitter. YouTube.com/Brinley Addington. We're pretty much everywhere.
Cool.
Buttmatch.com or anything like that.
Any dates that you want to plug coming up?
Ah, man, we're all over the place. We're playing in Florida. We're doing a little private gig at a resort coming up, and you can buy tickets to that. It's the Twin Waters Inn Resort, and that's the weekend of July 13th, I want to say, and then July 19th we're playing the Blue Canoe in Tupelo, Mississippi. It'll be exciting, and after that I'm kind of taking a little break and gonna, you know, just hunker down and write some songs. So our spot dates, but the rest of my dates are online at BrinleyAddington.com. So.
Yeah, look them up. Brinley Addington. If you haven't got the new single, go and get it because it's excellent. And in my library, it comes up sometimes right before Iron Maiden.
Oh yeah,
so
great. Blend it right in.
That's right, man. It'll go with anything. Thanks for being on the show.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it a lot.
Come back again.
I'd love
Next time
to.
you've got a new single out,
Yeah.
come back. We'll
Come back
talk more.
anytime.
Yeah, that's right.
See what I did
Cool.
there?
There you did. That's a new song. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.